Alright guys, what's going on? Hey, remember I don't know, 2 months ago? It seems like it was a million years ago, especially in YouTube years. It was basically forever ago. I said that we were going to get a betta fish, okay? Or betta fish, you know, however you want to pronounce it. We don't discriminate over here on this channel. But we set up this little tank over here. You guys might remember that. I said we were going to get a fish for it, and then yeah, I mean, like a month, 2 months, 3 months, I can't even remember, went by, no betta fish. People were asking for it in every video. Where's your betta fish? When is it going to show up? Well, it showed up today. It's in a box at my feet right now, and that's what we're going to do today. We're going to open it up, we're going to check it out, and you're going to meet the newest edition of the AQUAPROS family. Okay? Get ready to meet Richard. So I usually ask you guys for your opinion on maybe what fish to put in a tank. That can be really helpful for me. I've also asked you for your opinions a couple of times on what we should name a fish, and this time around I knew what I wanted to name the fish, and that was Richard. And there isn't really any rhyme or reason to why. This fish I feel like is gonna be a Richard, if that makes any sense at all. And for the record, I wanted to get my betta fish sooner than now. It took a long time because I was just super picky, and I was, going through kind of the standard options that I have available to me, and I decided to reach out to a different company that I had seen on Instagram more than a few times. I followed them for a while, and I'd seen other people that had really good success with fish that came from them. So I decided to reach out to them and pull the trigger and get this fish. So I know you guys don't want to wait and hear all the yada yada yadas. Let's get into here and see how our little traveler did. I'm assuming this is him. It is a male, I'll tell you that before we even take a peek. Guys, this is a black dragon half moon placat betta fish from Space City Fish and Corals. Let's try and get a better look at him. What's up, Richard? How's it going, bro? You want to get out of this bag, don't you? Yeah, we'll get you out soon enough, buddy. Richard's gonna chill down here for just one more second. It looks like there's something else here that Space City sent me. Guys, if you want to check out their website, they sell a bunch of different betta fish, male and female, as well as other types of fish. And I think they're starting to sell plants now, which may be what they sent me. It looks like we got some plants in here. Let's check these out. We have some Val and Liguigia repens. What else do we have? Some Hygro angustifolia. Nice, nice, nice. Oh, some Amazon frogbit. Oh yeah, this is definitely probably gonna go out into the pond or into something else. I am really into floating plants right now, and this is a type that I didn't have. So I guess all this stuff is available on their website as well. Go check it out, guys. I'll have links down in the description, the top of the description. So go check those out. Show them some love, and we might have a discount code for you. I don't know if we do right now, but if there is one, it'll be on the screen, and it'll also be in the description. So thanks again to Space City Fish and Coral for hooking it up. Let's get this guy in his tank. You guys remember we set this thing up, right? Okay, this isn't gonna work. We need to do some work here. It doesn't look horrible, I guess, but it's just the Liguigia is taken over. We need to get back in there and hack it out and clean up some of the stuff, create some more space for our fish. That's really important. I don't want him to be claustrophobic. Richard really means a lot to me already, so we want to make sure that he's in the best tank possible. Probably remove a bunch of the floating plants that are up here. That's a lot of Sylvinia. Maybe I'll throw in the new frogbit. Maybe not. I'm not sure yet. But it's all cycled and ready to go. We need to clean out our mechanical filter media here in our HOB, get a little bit better flow. But I took the baby cherry barb that was in here, put it in the 33, so he's out of the picture. He won't get harassed by Richard. So I'm gonna get going on that, and then we'll acclimate Richard and get him in the tank and check him out a little bit more. All right, guys, the glare is gonna be crazy, so I apologize ahead of time. Richard is chilling here in his bag, getting warmed up. I think he was a little chilly in this bag, so he's getting used to the temperature in here, which is a nice toasty 80 degrees. Perfect temperature for this little guy. He's gonna love it in this new home. He's pissed. He wants to get out of this bag. While acclimating fish, I also like to turn the lights off. I only have the blue light on just because I was showing them off, but we'll turn this off and we'll turn the light above me off as well while he's in here acclimating, as well as the first couple of hours of him being in the new tank, just to prevent stress and get him accustomed to his new tank a little bit faster. While we wait, here's another look at some of the plants that we got. There's the Ludwigia repens right here, looking pretty good. A couple leaves falling off, not atypical at all. I'm excited about this plant though, the angustifolia, the high grow. It's a plant that I have grown in the past, but I haven't had it in a long time. It looks super cool when it's really big and growing strong in your tank. And then we have, you know, just some vallisneria over here, some spiralis, just your typical stuff. And then the frog bit. This stuff I'm really looking forward to. I think I might put it in the pufferfish tank as some cover. I don't know though. Alright guys, Richard has been in his new tank now for almost a week. I know I've really been making you wait for this video, but I had to make sure that he was going to work out. You just never know when you get a new fish. But now I'm pretty sure that Richard's going to end up being a long-term addition to the family. There's a lot that I want to talk about, but I don't know about you guys, but Richard looks pretty hungry. So we're going to go ahead and get him some food. One thing that I think that gets overlooked a lot with betta fish is overfeeding. So after feeding that amount of bloodworms to Richard, which was a little bit more than normal, okay, I needed to get some good shots for you, you'll notice that his belly here is a little bloated. It looks a little bit bigger than it was before we started filming. And that's not atypical. Bettas have super small bellies, and it's really easy to overfeed them. So you need to be mindful of that. And if your fish is getting a distended tummy, I guess is the best way for me to put it, you need to back off on feeding. You might be feeding too much, and then look up ways to relieve that bloating if it persists. But if we come out to the tank literally 12 hours later, you'll see here that Richard has built a bubble nest overnight. That's really cool. But if we check him out, you'll notice that his tummy is not as bloated, and he's looking fine. Besides feeding him the frozen bloodworms, I also like to feed him these freeze-dried brine shrimp. He likes those a lot. I don't feed him a whole cube, of course, just like a little pinch off of a corner. And you know, when it comes to feeding again, I switch off between those two foods, and I feed probably 5 to 6 days a week. One of the reasons why I decided to go with Space City Fish and Coral for my betta fish was that they take the time to post what you see is what you get on their website. So when you go and you look at a fish, you know that you're going to get that exact fish, not one that just looks like it. And in this industry, that is super valuable. I can get behind that. That's a huge thing for me, and I really respect that they take the time to do that. With so many different types of betta fish available, I picked Richard because I just thought he was really unique. Not unique from maybe the most colorful standpoint, I guess. Like, originally, I wanted to get something that was super colorful, almost like a pastel color. I'll put an example of something that I was trying to find initially on the screen right now so you guys can get an idea. But I decided to pick Richard because I just thought he was different. The camera picks up his color pretty well, but I don't know how white he looks. He's really more of a platinum and shiny color in real life though. I just really like the way that the platinum silvery color extends into his finnage, and I don't know, I just really like the way he looks. You can see him from a mile away. When I'm back on the couch chilling, watching TV, I can look over and I can instantly pick him out and see him. He doesn't blend in or hide in the foliage too much, or even if he is, you can definitely see him and see what he's doing, which I think is just really awesome and engaging, and I love it. This type of male betta fish also doesn't have that stereotypical extra large wavy finnage, and that was something that also attracted me to this fish, because the more finnage that a betta fish has, it seems to be the easier it is for them to snag it on things and have damage happen to that finnage. And so with a shorter fin betta like this, I felt like it would just be easier to keep. well, maybe not easier to keep, but just less to worry about with the fish, if that makes any sense. There are always ways to treat those kind of problems, and Richard's definitely not immune to them, but I just thought we'd have a better chance with this fish. The most important factor, though, is the environment that you create. It's easy to create an environment that could lend itself to damaging a fish's fins, and this tank also definitely doesn't have that problem. There's no sharp objects in it, and that's just going to help increase the chances of a betta fish doing well in your tank. Again, this aquarium is 6 gallons, so I've mentioned before my sort of minimum for a betta fish tank is 5 gallons. I think most people agree with that. If you guys remember Jeff, the original betta fish that made its name on this channel, he was in a smaller tank. He was in a 2.5 gallon tank. He's not in one of those anymore. I've definitely changed my opinion on care requirements for these fish as time has gone on. You can certainly do it, but it's just having a larger tank is always going to be better for a fish's well-being, especially a fish like this. Let's go through the checklist here, though, with this tank. So 1, we're exceeding 5 gallons, so we're good. 2, we have a lid because these fish are definitely jumpers, not all of them. Okay, Jeff hasn't had a lid on his tank for pretty much forever. He's never jumped out, okay? But that was just that fish. We don't know if Richard's a jumper or not, so we're going the extra mile here, and we're keeping a lid on the tank. We don't want anything weird to happen to him. Checklist item number 3, filter, okay? Betta tanks, more times than not, don't have a filter on them. Just because this aquarium is for a betta fish, it doesn't mean that we don't need to have a filter. It certainly doesn't mean that. So we have our little Azu 110 on there, providing a decent flow in the tank, but it's not enough to create a flow that Richard wouldn't like, because betta fish do not like to have a lot of current in their environment. Checklist item number 4, are we on 5? Whatever. We have plants in the aquarium. Okay, so betta fish love plants. They love places to hide. They like to rest on plants. So in this tank, we have the Liguigia in the back, which provides sort of, a lot of cover back there, but primarily the most important plant that I think is in this tank is the needle leaf java fern. So Richard loves to hang out in here at all times in the day, and typically whenever I don't see him right away from far back, he's hiding in there. And I guess the last thing, number 5, is that we have no sharp objects in the tank. So all the wood here is soft, rounded. There's nothing that he could get his fins hung up on and tear. That's something that, again, is more of an issue with a fish that has large finnage, like the more stereotypical bettas that you see available. But even in Richard's case, it still could be an issue because they are fish that like to rub up and rest on things. And the last thing, guys, that is more important than you think is a heater. So we have a flat heater in here. I forget the brand, but it's probably Aquarium. It's one of these stylish looking flat heaters. I'll throw it in the description. If you have a betta tank or if you have a betta bowl, whatever, make sure that you're keeping it at somewhat of a steady temperature and it's around this temperature. Betta fish of all kinds do not do well in cold water, okay? So if your water's below 70, that's not good. Your fish is not going to be happy. Colder temperatures are going to lead to a bunch of health concerns, primarily in my mind, slower digestion, which we know can be an issue with these fish. So you want to keep the temperature in the upper 70s. It's very important. The fish, you're just going to get much better activity. They're not going to be lethargic like you see a lot of betta fish that are in cold water environments, because people just don't want to take the time to or invest the money in setting up something that is going to be what the fish basically needs to be happy and healthy. I guess the takeaway is that betta fish keeping is maybe not what the beginner fish keeper thinks it is, and there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, we're all here to learn. I'm here to learn. Everybody doesn't know everything about all these different types of fish, but if you're going to get a betta, I recommend that you do just as much research as you would for any other fish that you want to keep, and just make sure that you're keeping it in a home that it's going to be happy and healthy in. Anyway, guys, I think that's going to do it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to subscribe if you're new. Go check out spacecityfishandcoral.com as well as their Instagram. They do a really good job of showing off the exact fish that you might want to purchase. So make sure you go follow them, check out their website, and of course, don't forget about the discount code, the 10% off. It's down in the description. Thanks again so much for watching, guys. We'll see you next time. Say bye, Richard. Bye guys.